So if we want a new life within us, we have to be willing to take the seed of light and life and let the fire come, so that we can be marked on the inside and have that flame reignited. And how do we do that? Well, Kuf Lamed is a word that means calling out. What is calling out to us? The covenant. The spiritual walk of fire. The spiritual walk of fire, meant to mark you on the inside so that you can compress light in the circle of time by finding the narrow path between the light and dark that will instruct you. That's what's calling out to you. Shin Kuf by itself. Shin Kuf by itself. So if we were to take off the Nun and take off the Lamed, if you just had a Shin Kuf by itself and added the Tav in the middle, it means was lightened, was relieved. So that means a burden. Like if you're carrying a burden, what makes you lightened? Because when a word is in its root form, it's static. It is like potential. It's potential energy. Nothing's been done with it. It's like, here's the raw source code information. Now what are you going to do with it? Well, if I add a yod here in the middle, now it has power. Okay, now it has life. It's doing something. The Shin Kuf by itself is static, and it means was lightened and relieved. So if you want relief, find the covenant of fire and get it placed on the inside of your heart. Allow Mother and Father to instruct you. Allow Yod-He, Vav-He come through the fire of Shin, through Yeshua and what he taught. Let him teach you the way of one, because that fire is still here. His frequency is still here. He may not be walking amongst us, but we are as him as one. Tune into that frequency if you need to. I'm not dismissing anybody that prays to Yeshua, because we are all one. If that's the home, the frequency that you need to go into, you're really talking to your higher self, because we're all one. We all fractaled out. I'm hoping you guys are connecting to that, because I don't want to diminish that. And I don't want to diminish anyone that prays to Yeshua until you realize that we're all one. When you get that Shin in you and you're in the fire, you're in the one fire with Yeshua. Why do you think we had that imagery of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and the angel that showed up in the midst of the fire and the fire didn't burn them? Because they became one with fire. Now, was that a literal story that happened? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't remember it. But I sure can see the allegory of what it's saying. Become the fire, then fire doesn't touch you because you became the flame. You don't get burned by it because you became the fire. We only get burned by it when we don't deal with our shadow side. Because the fire, the plasma fire coming in from our higher self is going to touch the lower self and burn it. Because you haven't become one with it, because it becomes one fire. As soon as you connect with your lower self and you deal with that beast ego nature and you love it and you nurture it and you raise it and you restore it and you connect it, you are now one fire and you will not get burnt by it, because now that beast ego has been dealt with, has been brought back into the sheepfold as one, and you will not get touched by the flame because you are the flame.